I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Hi everybody, welcome to the final of the Women's Prestige Hotel and Resorts Curling Classic. We got a good game, we got a good match today. My name is Matt Hames. There's been a lot of curling on this weekend. A lot of curling streaming, a lot of curling on TV. So it's exciting to have some finals. Thanks for joining me tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Hope you're having a good time wherever you are. Final today is, and I'm gonna mess up some of these names, so forgive me, but Bobae Kang versus Yujie Zhang in the final. So we're hoping for some good ice, some good curling, and some fun. We'll see how that all goes. Got an open first end here. It looks like not a lot going on in the first end. It's okay. You know, when you're in a final like this and you've been playing all weekend, it's still nice to have a first end that's just kind of wide open. Everyone just get the heart rate down, just feel like, okay, we're good. Get through the first end, basically. We got a nice wide open end. Well, this might roll out. We might see a corner guard. We might see a guard. Let's see what we decide here. Do we want a nice wide open end or do we want to? Yes, we want a nice wide open end. So we're going into the rings. You could throw corner guard here. You could also just say, hey, let's go in the rings. Let's keep this first end simple, like the commentator said we should. Oh, jumping in and sweeping your own rock. You see that a lot more now that mixed doubles came in. Jump in and sweep your own rock because we do it in mixed doubles all the time, so why not? Good sweep in there. Had to go coast to coast. I tell you, going coast to coast early too gets you in the game. Gets your heart rate going, and then it comes right back down, and then you're like, we're good to go. As I said in the intro, there's been a lot of curling on this weekend. It's so awesome that Curling Stadium offers these games that we can just commentate. I'm sitting here in central New York State watching a game in Vernon and telling you all about it. I mean, you gotta love technology. This isn't gonna stay in the rings. Still not gonna throw a guard. Both teams have had the chance to decide whether or not they want to guard. Both teams have elected, nope, we're going in the rings. This isn't really anything that they plan either. You know, if the first rock becomes a guard, maybe they decide that to go. But once it's determined that it's going in the rings, then they're just gonna go. They're just gonna go to the next end. It's good. We can warm up too. This one's gonna hang out. We just had a rock come from the other sheet, flying in. It's always good. It's always good to keep your head up, especially when the sheet beside you is yelling and screaming and you can see a rock firing. Well, guess what? We're not going to see a guard. I think we pretty much established that there's going to be no guards in this particular end. So the goal for Team China is to go to the next end. That's their goal now. They're well into this end. Just put her on the corner. Put it in the 8-foot. You don't expect to miss at this point. What you expect is a bunch of made shots and a blank end. Sweepers don't love it. This has a chance. Some power sweeping by the skipper. Gets it out of play. Most people would think in the first end too that it's way too late to throw a guard anyway. So again, it's a chance to just kind of throw some less precise shots. Get a feel for the ice, get a feel for the rocks, get a feel for how things are going. They like it. Top 4. Good sweeping, good execution, nice shot. Goal here is to try to hit and roll outside if possible. And roll to the wing. But at this point, nose hit is fine too. I used to curl with a guy who, when he called a shot, especially when it's being scored, he would say, hit and roll here is good. Hit and roll there is good. Nose hit's good too. So no matter what you did, you got a 4. It's a good way to up your percentages. Let the scorers know that everything is good. I'm not recommending that you do that, but I'm just saying it's a good way to up your percentages. Going for a nose hit here. Nice quiet weight, lots of ice. Sweepers are saying that it's pretty down, but they always wanted it to be pretty quiet anyway. Just a really nice board weight hit. Good weight control. It's always interesting to see your front end kind of panic about your weight there. And you know, panic might not be the right word. She was aggressively letting them know that the weight was a little bit down. Little roll here is optimal. Try to get it out to the wing if possible. But, you know, again, you don't need to be that precise on this shot. Job 1, make it go away. go to the next end. This has some issues with staying around. Trying to get it to curl. Not gonna happen. So you can see the difference in the weights there. That was closer to a normal. Whereas on the previous toss, the Korean team was much more control, just like a board weight. So you can do a little bit more with it. Free draw to the button here. Just put it on the button. You want to put this on the button to make the roll as far as you possibly can. I mean, the ideal spot is full top four. Full top four makes the roll, makes the blank as hard as possible. Bite a piece of the button. That's a perfect shot for this situation. Now the interesting part is on the last shot, the goal was to nose hit, and it was a little bit wide. So the question is, when you're sitting in the hack, how do you adjust? Do you adjust? You know, just throw it the same, because last time you did what you're trying to do here. You can overcompensate sometimes and end up bonking it and feeling real bad. They're trying to play the other way now. Bonk's in play. Looks like it might cross. Yeah, there you go. A little over adjustment, and it's one. And we will be right back after these messages.
With backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Gripper first.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it. Yellow.
Come on. Okay, well, what do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the final of the Prestige Hotel and Resorts Curling Classic in Vernon, British Columbia. My name is Matt Hames and I'll be your commentator today. First end looked like it was going to be a blank end, but we got a nose hit at the very, very end. So they threw, after nose hitting it, they went top 4 foot, and we're going to have some guards in play here. We're going to have some guards in play, ladies and gentlemen, which is exciting for curling and for watching curling. It's much more fun. This game is way more fun with guards, which is why we have the free guard zone rule, so that we ensure that we have guards to make it way more fun for all of us. You got to readjust. You know, you won the draw the button, and you were in entire control of the last end, looking for a blank, a little bit of overcompensation, and you nose hit. The best thing to do is gather as a team and just go after them here. You know they're going to come at you, so you might as well try to go at them. And that's what they're doing. Go top 4 foot, then guard. The one thing I would say about this end is the is the guard might be just, or the rock that's in the rings might be just a little farther in than they were hoping for. Might, you know, it's, you want that rock to be like just biting the top 4 if possible. So the call here is to just sit on top of it. A little tap is good, but the ideal situation is that the shooter ends up behind the guard. Little heavy from the way that it's, the way the sweepers are reacting and the way that it's not curling. This has got some pace. Yeah, when you're throwing that rock, you're thinking it's okay if I tap it. The problem is when you throw it that hard, you end up not tapping it because it does not curl. Trying to double peel here. This looks like it's gonna just dead jam. Leave a guard. So you got hammer, you've got a, you don't have hammer, you're just trying to guard your rock. You want to put this in a spot where you want to put this spot in a spot where it's really tough to double peel. That's what you're going for. This is really hanging. It's starting to finish now for them. Starting to finish a little bit now. So now the goal is to try to make this double peel if possible, but you don't really have to. You don't, that's the thing. You don't really have to make this double peel. If you peel the center one, you can actually make a run at the run back on the center one and roll your shooter over. And that's a high guard. The guard that they just threw is super high and might not even impact you. But you could also make this double peel. You're not gonna hold your shooter. This is a good shot. Oh, it jams on the outside one. Well, it's a decent result, but now it's their guard, not yours. So the goal here is a you know, tightish guard because it's coming back. So get it tightish. See if you can get it as tight as you possibly can. It's on the sweepers. They're struggling a little bit with this, with just the line for these guards. They're audibling now and bringing it into the rings because it's just not going to curl. Trying to make the freeze right on it. Team Korea is they're looking at this end now as a possible blank. Don't have a lot going. Halfway through the end. Can make the double here. You got a possible blank coming. Oh, this is curling a lot. It might hold on though. It might just hold on the wing, which would be great. We'll spin in for them. Bites on the outside. Can't be ignored, but now the force is on. So the goal here, nose hit this outside one. Nose hit, roll into the broom maybe. Then you're gonna see a hit and roll on yellow behind the guard. And we'll see whether or not they can manufacture a deuce with the other team's corner guard. Lots of rotation. This is definitely not going to stay. Oh, there you go. Blank is back in play. Well, try this. A little surprising that they're playing a hit and roll. Nice quiet weight. Control weight, hit and roll here behind the corner guard, behind their corner guard. And see if you can manufacture a deuce that way. This is curling again to the nose. Not bad. They're gonna try a nice little quiet weight here. Try to hit and roll. Try to cross this and hit and roll. Even if you get half a rock under. Half a rock under is a great result in this situation right here. You don't have to be fully buried. Half rock under, and you're gonna force an out-turn draw around this corner guard. That's gonna be a guess on the ice. It's not gonna be in a spot that they've played yet in this game. Let's see if the skipper here can make this shot. Yujie Zhang with her first. Looks like they're oddballing and going to the outside. Not bad. Bobae Kang with the hit and roll now. Just been playing such quiet control weight all game, so expect this with this ice to be like a board. Just board weight. Lots of rotation, lots of control. You have a lot of control over it with sweeping now. First rock, trying to manufacture skips deuce here. Little tight from the looks of things. They're on it right away. It's real close. Real close to a goodie. Whoa, whoa, ladies, whoa. You can't, that's not gonna do anything. It feels good, but that's not gonna do anything. By the way, if you're watching at home, the person who has the roll call is the thrower, always. Other people might yell, but it's the thrower who has the best perspective on it. So on any team, the thrower has the roll call. Because they're standing far away from the house, they can see that line. So if you're a team, make sure that everyone knows that the thrower has the roll call. So you can't take any rocks off. Like, you got to be there watching. You always are anyway. So. But that's the thrower's job. Last rock here. A little quiet weight. Can see half of it. Going pretty hard. Nah, they're good. Probably not going to stay. And it looks like we got a pretty easy blank. What are you going to play? Control weight, out turn, or a control weight, in turn? What do you think? My guess is out turn. I think she's going to throw an out turn here just to see, just to check the ice out. Yipper. Mostly because there's no reason ever to throw an in turn right there. There's no reason to learn that ice. All right, well, we have a blank end here. Was more interesting, though, than the previous end. So we'll be right back after these messages, and we hope for a better end in the next end. See you soon.
Offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Welcome back, everybody. We're in the third end of the Prestige Hotel and Resorts Curling Classic in Vernon, BC, brought to you by Curling Stadium. You know, you can watch all of Curling Stadium's games, and if you're not sure whether or not a game is on TV, just go to curlingzone.com and check out the left-hand side. If you're on a mobile phone, just scroll down, and you'll see the little play buttons, and you can click play and watch a game. And hey, maybe I'll be commentating. My name is Matt Hames, and you know, we're looking for some interesting ends here to have a free guard zone rule in play, but these teams don't seem interested in free guards as much as maybe I am. Now, there's always this theory about like fourth ends and third ends, and you should never score in the third end, so you can see that they've decided to try to blank the third end and only throw guards maybe in the even ends. It's an interesting theory. Like, the theory just kind of goes like, score in the fourth end and you'll have hammer and eighth, or score in the even ends and you'll have hammer and eighth. It's nice on paper, but you know, as Mike Tyson said, all plans are good until you get hit. Doesn't really end up going that way in curling, so I've always been of the belief that you just kind of, when you have hammer, you try to score. But everyone plays different. There's no right or wrong way to play curling games. That's the awesome part about curling. It's very much like chess. There is no right or wrong way to play chess. Just don't make bad moves. That's really the secret to curling. Don't make bad calls and don't miss. So we got ourselves a possible blank end. Trading nose hits. It's a good way to practice, by the way. If you're by yourself and just practicing, or your intern, and try to throw an intern draw, then throw an out turn and try to nose hit it, and then throw an intern nose hit. And if you ever roll out, then just throw that draw. So make blue your intern and yellow your out turn, and just throw. Best thing to do is figure out how to make nose hits in your head, because nose hit is. Once you can start to make those all the time, you can start to make other shots all the time. So we're going to the wings here. We're definitely not throwing any guards. Let's see if we can get one of your classic blank ends here. You see some rollouts, you see some nose hits. Outturn nose hit here. I should probably say counterclockwise for my lefties out there. I am a left-handed person who curls right-handed, so I often don't care about lefties, even though I should. So I can say clockwise here. Clockwise rotation. That's for all my lefties out there. Then we got a nose hit. Watching this game, you can understand why curling decided to get the free guard zone. Because I'll tell you one thing, this game is not boring for the competitors out there. I once won a curling game 1-0, and honestly, it was really fun playing it. But it's like watching paint dry watching it. And there's nothing fun about watching paint dry, which is why the game decided that we needed some more offense. And ladies and gentlemen, the offense will come. We did have that second end with some rocks in play. So the offense will come. It's just not going to come in this end, honestly. So, you know, if you have to do your laundry, you have to move the stuff from the washing machine to the dryer or whatever, this would be a good end to do it, because there's going to be a lot of this happening. Now again, you get a miss here and there, or a half shot, a rollout, you're not gonna get a flash at this level in this final. These ladies are technically awesome, so they're gonna make all the shots. It is good time to practice with your weight control. This is going to be a nice quiet weight hit here. Needs to curl for a piece. Oh, it's good. It's good for a piece. Might even stay. Nope, not going to stay. Go to the wing. Why not? Let's switch her around and throw a counterclockwise turn to the wing. Make things interesting this end. Switch the side that they play to. Grasping at straws here, folks. You know, I could use this time to update you on all the different scores all over the place, but curlingzone.com does that. So go take a look at curlingzone.com and see. Look at curlingzone.com to see what's coming up next weekend, what you can stream, what you can watch. Go to Curling Zone's YouTube channel and watch games that happened before, games that happened earlier today. There's mixed doubles happening. There's the slam that just finished. I'm sure you maybe watched some of those games, but that was really interesting because you could watch all 4 sheets. You could watch any sheet you wanted. There was You could watch a game with no commentators, just the curlers. The curlers are mic'd. No commentators, just the curlers. It was interesting because nobody's mic was off. I was watching the Dunstone Gushu game last night, and you could hear like when Dunstone's throwing, you could hear Brad Gushu talking about the shot that he's throwing, and it's pretty awesome. Curling with no commentators, but just the curlers. I mean, I think one of the beautiful things about this game is that we stick mics on the players so you can actually go into the house and listen to them. Now, we don't have mics on them right now here, but in a lot of events, the mics are on them and you can hear exactly what they're saying. You can hear timeouts. Like, you know, in most sports that you watch, a timeout, the commentators are like, well, possibly in this timeout, they're talking about scoring more baskets or whatever it happens to be, right? In curling, you get to hear the conversation, which makes this sport kind of unique. Just drawing it to the wing again. Same wing they rolled out on last time. So that's fun. See them roll out. We're like, hey, let's put it back in that exact same spot. See if they roll out again. Different player. Let's see. Skipper's last here. Trying to nose hit. Probably roll to the center, but honestly at this point it would be way behind T-line, so it really doesn't matter. It's not like you're going to make it better by rolling the center line. It's going to be a bit better. It's a little quiet. Some intrigue on contact here. Yeah, we got good contact. Nice quiet wait. Oh, did it spin on? No, it did not. It definitely did not. They thought about it. Really thought about spinning on. So we got another pretty easy blank. We're throwing out turn counterclockwise for you lefties out there. Counterclockwise turn with a nice control weight. And if you believe in the curling gods, then let's pray to them that we get some cards next end. So we got a 1-0 score after 3 ends at the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic. Bobae Kang versus Yujie Zhang. We'll be back right after these messages in hopes of a guard.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Welcome back, everybody, to the final of the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic. My name is Matt Hames, and We're in the fourth end here of a very, very defensive game. And we're hoping for some offense here. We got all three sweepers trying to get this in the rings. We just didn't ask the curling gods enough to get a guard. But we're going to get a corner guard here. The signal was a 3. So we are going to get ourselves a corner guard. Yippee. I mean, that first rock is not in a very offensive situation anyway, so it's actually not a bad shot. I want this to get off the center line before you pound it, ladies. It's a little tighter than they want it, but lordy, lordy, it's a guard. Now the question is, do you throw a center guard? It looked like the indication was center guard. So we're just going to guard this to a ton of ice. Looking for a little bit less ice here. Looks like a tremendous amount of ice. Maybe audibling and going around this. I think the call is a center guard though. There she go, right where her berm is. That's where the goal is. Gotta do a lot of curling. Possibly a little higher than you wanted. Might have choked off the corner guard too. Super high guard. Might have choked off the draw behind that corner guard. You're gonna look at a nice control weight hit and roll here. Leads get to hit. Leads get to make a hit and roll. It's not a shot that's in their golf bag too often. The old hit and roll behind corner guard. Let's see how it goes. Gotta get this to curl. Audible and just go around the center. It's gonna roll into the hole. Yeah, rolling into the hole. The good news is that guard is pretty high, so it's not really going to impact this end much other than the fact that it's a guard. It chokes off that corner guard. Little hit and roll to the center here. Nice control weight. Looks a little wide. Really trying to do that weird slasher thing that they try to get it to curl. It's a good shot. It's not perfectly ideal, but it's a good result. It's going to leave a short little run back here with their rocks. She's just indicating how far the rocks are away there. It's a short run back when you can use your broom to describe how far away it is. So we're looking at a nice little control weight hit here. Nose hit. Nose hit in your, folks were probably still looking at a blank end here, but some people are going to try to score. This might over curl. It's close. It's going to get the back one, but it's not going to be buried. That's interesting now because it's going to be tough to get on the rings with a hit and roll here, but it's also going to be tough to bury. For Gong to get around anything here, to actually bury, it's going to be really, really, can't play the out turn. You might end up seeing a top here if they nose it. It looks like they're gonna get a roll. Gonna get a roll to the hole. They're gonna get a roll past the hole. It's a great shot. That changes it, because now you can roll just underneath. You know, the way that it goes here, you could play this with really down weight and try to overroll and get behind. They're going underneath the high guard. It's not a bad call. I'm not saying it's a bad call. I'm saying you can play it a little bit more aggressively, a bit less weight, and try to roll big. Weight is pretty down, which is good. Trying to get it to curl right now. Really needs to curl. It's very much like a nose hit. Audible at the end to try to roll it out. Roll it out a little bit farther. Probably never was going to with that weight. Just yelling down, question of whether the weight, this looks like a close to normal-ish ice. Maybe just a little bit down normal. Lots of rotation. That is a lot of rotation. That is probably not going to curl with that amount of rotation. It's also going to... Not bad. Can't ignore it, really. There's nowhere to draw. The ideal shot here is to actually roll behind the yellow one. Get as far over as you can. So you play normal, hit 3/4-ish, and it's above the tee line, so everyone can sweep this until it gets to behind the tee line, right? So 2 people can sweep this. Sweep around the skipper. Got to go for the nose. Trying to make it curl for the nose. It was good. Not quite the shot that they were looking for, but this does not look, or has not looked for a while, like anything other than a blank. But a good hit and roll here, a big hit and roll here, can put some pressure on and maybe result in a force. That's rotation again. This one looks pretty close. It's got it, with all that rotation though, it's got to hit a lot less of the rock than you think to actually roll. All right, here, this is a chance. They're switching turns. This is really interesting. The hard part about this is that you actually have to throw a hit where you start your rock off of the rock. When you play the other turn, you start the rock on the rock, and you sweep to keep it there. On this one, you start off the rock, and you have to wait for it to get on the rock before you start sweeping. It's not unmakeable. It's just a harder thing to do. Well, this looks close. Sweep it, ladies. Whoa. Oh, that is a beautiful shot right there, because I don't think there's an outturn hole. I really don't think that you can get through that counterclockwise hole. Look at this shot. Sweeping it, pounding it all the way, and then nobody was really in position to make the sweep. You can see the thrower calling sweep, still saying yes, yes, yes. I was saying no, which is a bad idea. Don't listen to me. I genuinely don't think she can get through that hole. They're looking at it. They're going to take a run at it. That is a smaller hole than it looks like. Now from the hack, it looks like that is it. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, this is a tight little hole. Let's see what we get. Gonna have some heat. Good throw. Going for everything. It's off the top rock. Oh, what a shot. Great shot. Now the problem is there's no really good spot to go here. It's just a great shot. You can see how small this hole was in this replay. Look, they're on the top red, or they're on the top blue when they're sweeping. Now they're just off it, and they just got by. So that did not have a lot of space. Good shot. Here they're going, the danger here, I'll tell you the danger here, is if you go top button and you over curl a tiny bit, then they could make a little hit and roll behind that corner, your own corner, and all of a sudden you're drawing to sit one. Like you're forced. So the ideal situation here is top 12-ish, buried. Not deeper than top 12. Give them the outside of the rock too if you want. You don't have to make this curl, ladies. You just have to get it into the rings. Whoa, easy. It's coming out the other side. See, this is the danger. This right here is the danger, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what you didn't want. Now all of a sudden you have a chance Now all of a sudden you have a little chance at a nice quiet weight hit and roll behind that corner, and you're left running back your own guard for a blank or drawing for your one. And it wasn't entirely necessary. If you went to the open side, she was going to hit it. Like, that's the thing. You could have went to the open side. I recognize that it felt like a good idea to go behind that center guard, but to make that high of a center guard, to make an offensive shot, you had to just be top 12. Just be top 12 on an offensive shot. So why not just draw full 8 on the outside? Because she still could have hit your rock top 12 too. Now there's a chance here on Skip's left. Well, Yujie Zhang with her last rock here. Little hit and roll. Trying to make it curl. Oh, it's just gonna over. There's a chance. We're going for a blank here again. You know what that means, right? The whole fifth end. We can't score in the fifth end. At some point, somebody's going to throw a guard, though. I'm sure of it. We only had 2 this end. At some point, we're going to have more than 2. It's the odds are on our side, ladies and gentlemen. So the odds are on our side. Oh, do we got ourselves a nose hit here? No, we're good. All right, another blank end. We'll see you in a minute. And again, pray for guards.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final of the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic. My name is Matt Hames. We've got a pitcher's duel here in the final in Vernon, British Columbia. We got a 1-0 game after 4. We got, for the first time, Yujie Zhang threw up a center guard. So we got a center guard on the first rock. Now we're coming into the rings trying to come around this guard. Unfortunately, we didn't get it around the guard, which means that, yes, we're going to have a hit. We are not going to have another guard or a draw. We are going to hit things. You know, you can pray for guards as much as you want, but then you also have to pray for execution, because you need some execution for guards and draws. And that just didn't quite curl enough. It's wide open. So we got a hit here, but I think you're gonna see Bobae Kang come around this again, because this is not staying in the rings. Oh, we might spin on. Nope. Just so you know, there's no reason to sweep like inside to try to get it, because the running surface of the rock is like a couple of inches inside of where you're sweeping anyway. So, but it's always fun. It's fun to sweep. You just sweep because you're out there. All right, a little adjustment on the ice. Hopefully we can get this one buried and get some rocks in play this end. They're going to run out of scoreboard to put up the blank ends if they don't watch out. Not really figuring out this outturn side. It does finish at the end, but it really hangs for a long time there, and it's just really good sweeping right here. Look at that. Excellent sweeping to get it buried, and I think you're good. Oh, yes, we got a draw. No, don't look at the run back. Don't look at the run back. Team's trying to, yes. That's what we want. That's what all the fans want. Our team's trying to talk her into the run back. We're going to have some rocks in play. We like the freeze. The second end, we got some rocks in play. After 5 rocks, we might have 4 of them in play. This is not curling. This spot is a little tricky. It does hang here. There's some tricky little spots on this this ice. We did a game earlier today where it just didn't curl. Now here you go. Here's a chance to hit and roll. You got a catcher over there on the right-hand side. See that catcher over there? It's a catcher because they're playing this pretty quiet. I'd be really tempted to play this with a little bit more weight and roll over. If you could roll over a corner freeze on that rock that's over there, I could really put some pressure on them on this end. Don't think you want to flash it though. That was not what the hope was. That was a lot of ice for that weight. I think that was just a communication problem. She threw it pretty good. I think she's now indicating that what I was asking for was way less weight than that. That just sometimes comes down to communication, where you got to make sure everybody knows what the weight is and what the call is, because that was normal weight with board ice. So I don't know, like that's a missed shot, but it's more a miscommunication. All right, so here we go, freeze into the pocket in a spot that not a lot of people have been able to cross this center line. Let's see if they can get it into that pocket. It's starting to come over now. Wow, this is a good looking shot right here. Can bounce it a tiny bit. Yeah, that's a great shot. Sadly, that means that we're going to peel the guard, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, you can pray for guards, but you also got to pray for execution. So we're going to run this back into the pile. Really, probably going to lose your yellow. Going to lose the back blue. Hopefully you lose the guard and keep one of their rocks. That middle rock is not going anywhere. So this will be humming. You want to hit it just off the nose. Oh, nose hit is not going to be good. This is not going to work out. No. I stand corrected. It's not awful. It's not great. They're going to come in. They're just going to stick one in again. That is going to be a lonely yellow rock surrounded by blue rocks. You don't have to hit it. Yeah, the call is just go right there again, yeah. You struggled with this turn. You might contemplate throwing the other turn at this where it curls a bit and not throwing. I'm going to come down and talk about this. Question is, can you use the out turn and get around it? We're having a conversation on I think turn and the perfect spot to put this rock. The perfect spot to put this rock is right on top of it, right where she just tapped her broom. That's the perfect spot. The question is, how do you get there? Do you get there with this turn, or do you get there with the other turn? I know we haven't seen the other turn, but the one thing that we have seen is that this turn does not curl a ton every single time. Taking max ice. I don't know if you've been keeping track of this, but third on this team, China, throws a lot of rotation. So they're really having a conversation about this, and again, I don't think the conversation is about is this the right shot to call? I think the conversation is more along the lines of, do we believe we can get there? This is my guess. We don't have sound, and even if we had sound, I probably wouldn't know what they were saying anyway, so. Goal here is to freeze dead on top of yours. It doesn't have to be perfectly frozen. In fact, if it splits the center line, that would be outstanding. That would be an outstanding result because you could access it. They would almost have to throw a guard. The danger here is she throws a lot of rotation. That's the danger. The danger is that rotation finishing at the end. I think she threw it a little tight. Ooh, she threw it a lot of tight. It's okay though. I think she ended up coming out edge of the, honestly, I think she ended up coming out edge of the four. So this might come out the other side. It's a very good result. That bounce doesn't help you a ton. It didn't bounce enough to get out of the way. Honest question is, what do you do now? You're gonna try, they're gonna try it. They're contemplating running this back. I guess there's not really a lot of other good options. This could go badly in many ways. One way is if you hit it too much on the high side, you could end up jamming if you're on the high side of this. I don't even think you end up pretty good if you nose it. I think the only good situation is to cross it a hair like this, yeah. That's not a great result, but that's better, I guess. It's out of the 4 foot. Force is on. I don't know if that's good for us or bad for us. We're not getting a lot of rocks in play in this particular game, but force is on. Now, there's no way she was even close to that brim on her first one. This looks like maximum ice again to me. It's definitely wider than her first one. It's not moving like the first one did, but the first one curled like crazy at the end. So this one looks like it's gonna go. This one looks like it might bounce off too. A little bounce. Oh, that could give a. That could be the thing that we needed to make this. I don't think you can make the double here. I don't think you can see enough of the rock to make the double. Yeah, they're pretty convinced that you can. I don't. I mean, maybe if you threw it a million miles an hour, you got a chance and just skinny the top one. And they're not a million miles an hour throwing team. Yeah. What she's saying is that it's pretty easy to nut this, and I don't disagree with her. I think the right shot, honestly, the right shot here is to play the guard back again. There's a lot of things that can go well for you here if you play the guard back. 3/4 on the high side of the guard, onto the red. We're gonna try it this way. Gotta be honest with you folks, this is a toughie. This is probably gonna result in that the first rock that she hits is not going out of the rings, in my opinion. But let's see what happens. That's why we play the games. We don't just talk about them behind the glass. It's really got to curl. It's definitely not going out of the rings now. Back one, not out of the rings. Okay, well, didn't have a lot of confidence in that shot. I got to be honest with you. Maybe if it curls, maybe it's good. I would like to see Knight actually just skinny the guard just to see what happened. Still not entirely convinced that anything other than that would have happened, although the yellow rock would have stayed and that back one would have gone if they skinnied the guard. As it happens, those rocks, that doesn't really impact much other than the fact that we're just going to play this come around again. I personally think that the spot to be is right on top of yours. She's run this guard back, probably. So go right on top of yours. That's where I would put it, right on top. Yep, anywhere there is pretty good too. Tight is, or center guard is not good. You don't want to stop. What you don't want to do in this situation is stop on the center guard and give her a chance to come around. Like if you throw one that just kind of bites the other side of the center guard, the center line, you're like, oh, we'll just double guard it by putting another guard up. What you end up doing is giving her an out-turn draw to sit buried and shot. Like if you don't throw right now, it's really tough for them to sit shot. If you throw a wide guard, then you give them something to come around to sit shot. So you want to make sure that this is buried and in the rings. Let's see whether or not she got a read on this spot from her third. See, it's traveling at a different angle. I think they're audibling now and coming around their own. You know, it's not a good result, but it's not bad. I think they just kind of overthought that. Sometimes you're just thinking about far too many things. what we're playing here is we're playing to come around that top one and sit back button, half buried, 3/4 buried. I don't know. Does the spot bury enough here? And are they going to get enough curl in 2.5 feet to curl? It does finish pretty hard. We got the most ice we've seen on this draw so far. So it's definitely a lot of ice. Nice soft release with decent rotation. They're going for weight, obviously, because it is out there. You can wait. You can wait for weight. You can't wait for line, though. It's a good-looking shot. Sweepers probably didn't have to hit that as early as they did. That was great weight. Sweepers hit that early and stopped its curl a bit. But good practice for the last one. Gonna need that again. Should be able to make this go away. Just make this go away, ladies. Just, yeah, you can see all of it. It's basically wide open. A lot of collaboration on this team. It's not a bad thing. Talking is good. Communication is good. This is a normal weight. This is max ice for a normal weight hit. It's probably not going to be normal weight. Should not be a problem though in this spot. Really should not be a problem. Although it's turning into a problem. She's going to hit her top one. There you go. Skips deuce. Draw for two. Draw for two. Come around. Come around your own rock to the back button. I don't think it matters, but she has 2 inches less ice on this shot than she did on the previous one. Oh, they moved the broom. Good for her. She moved the broom back to the right, to the same spot as on the last shot. Nope, moved it back in again. So we have a couple of inches less ice. It really is not going to matter. Famous last words. This looks like a solid skips deuce, although I'm not sure that should be credited as a skips deuce since it was a miss. I'll still put it down as a skips deuce because you had to put the rock in a spot to put pressure on. And she did that. What was it going to bounce it too far? No, it's good. All right, we got a deuce here in the 5th end. This is an interesting game, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay with us.
Unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Gripper first.
Don't forget your brooms.
You got it. Yellow.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got one, you got two, yeah.
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final of the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic in Vernon, British Columbia. My name is Matt Hames, and got ourselves a really good game here. 2-1. It's still a pitcher's duel, no question. We got Bobae Kang versus Yujie Zhang in the final here. And I'm telling you, Zhang wants that outturn in her last outturn back after making one of the best shots that I've seen this year. An outturn through a hole that I wasn't entirely convinced was there. She then throws the outturn in 5 a tiny bit tight, crashes on a rock in the top 4 foot, and leaves a free draw for 2. Shake it off. You made that shot. You made that shot through that hole. You got good shots in you, so just shake it off. Get yourself a deuce here. Started off with a center guard. We got a corner guard. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some guards in play. Looking at the 6th end here as an opportunity to, I don't know, put some rocks in play. I think both teams are gonna want to put some rocks in play. This is that end, right? You don't want it, if you can help it, you don't want it to be blanked, I guess. You want it to score. So we got an outturn come around here. They're going hard. Skipper jumps in. I love it when Skipper jumps in to help. Oof. Doesn't matter. They're coming around the corner no matter what. Coming around this corner guard. Mine looks nice. Wait, looks like it's got to go. It's pretty close. Oh, excellent sweeping right there. Tell you, these ladies can sweep. Oof, we're ignoring that and just going around staggered centers. I don't think this is a pitcher's duel anymore. I did not see that coming. The way this game has been going. Got a good chance to see how much this intern. This intern will ride. That outturn side that we saw last end is where it rode, but then once it gets closer to the center line, it will go. They might be able to come around their own red, their own yellow, I mean. This is a great shot. Staggered guards. We're gonna see a peel. Gotta watch out for this top yellow. You gotta get it past your own blue. There's not a lot of ways to get it past your own blue. There's a lot of ways that it can run into your own blue. This is a decently precise shot. It's pretty easy to not nut this because you got to get it past that blue one that's buried. So they're aware of the angle of getting it past the blue. So they need to get this. Now this is gonna not go over the top. Yeah, just straight up guard that again. Guard a piece of the yellow. This is not an easy double peel by any means. Well, it's not. It's a very, very precise double peel. That's the problem, because you got to peel it over the rock that is right near the broom right now. You got to peel this yellow rock over top of that or underneath it. It's really tough to get underneath it and get your shooter off the off the top. So you got to get it over top of it. Moscard's got a lot of curling to do. It's a little tighter than they probably wanted because they're going to make it curl. All right, not bad. Basically the same spot. Still leaves the same danger of somehow she's suggesting she can get rid of all three of those. The team is suggesting that maybe that's not physically possible, and they're coming down to have a conversation about it. So you probably can't get rid of all three. You could get all three moving, but you got to hit pretty thin on that top one to get all three moving. So they're having a conversation about why don't we just try this double? Nose hit this one and double it out. Sure, she comes around again, but then it's our rock that's there. That's the conversation that they're having, or could be having right now. You could also run this double peel, but the double peel has some consequences. So why not just take a run at this double right here? If you make the double, nose hit double. Yep, that one. Nose hit that. That is probably the right shot. I think they're trying to talk Skipper out of the double peel and into this shot. Oh, we didn't talk her out of it. We're playing the double peel. That's okay. First instincts. You can also make this double peel and like nose hit this and get rid of the back one. There's a number of ways that you can do this. Gonna have some heat. It's gonna have some rotation. Let's see what happens afterwards. Might have pushed it in a bit. Audibling now for the back one, maybe. And there is the jam that we talked about, ladies and gentlemen. That was the thing that was possible. That one good news for the Zhang team is that they got that little biter. So they ended up with a little biter. The bad news is that these rocks are now even. So there's no double. And it's going to take a tough couple of shots to get rid of both of them and get your counter to counter. But you got to counter. So there's nothing wrong with that. Going for a center guard here. Probably tight-ish. Right about where a broom is. Give him the outside of the rock. Gotta go for weight. Gotta just keep your head down. Right now, if they were shouting English, it would be head down, never look, just keep pounding. Just get it over. You know, it's in the way. It's not really a guard. It's not even on the screen. It's not even on your screen to the right. That's how far up it is. It's not even that. It's barely on the logo. But it's in play. So, you know. Yeah, you can see a half. I'm not sure that any of that matters. Like, you're trying to get some offense here. You're trying to just hit and roll to the wing. That's your goal here. That is a lot of ice. So I want to remind our viewers at home that this third throw is a lot of turn. Good news is she doesn't often get out to the rim. I think that's on purpose. It's going to get by. It's going to be a beauty. I'm not entirely convinced that she's aiming at the brim. That looked like it came out on the edge of the forefoot to me. We're going to nose this back. Nice control weight. It's nose this back, and then you can play the hit and roll on the outside one underneath this into the forefoot, and you're behind two guards. So their deuce is in play here. I don't know why they're sweeping it for line. Yeah, you need to make this curl, ladies. Although you don't really want it to curl, you don't really want it to nose hit. Okay, so we got a nose hit. Well, it's a high enough guard, it doesn't matter. So you could do it one more time. One more nose hit. Much less ice than the last time. Still, I think she came out edge of the forward last time. Look at where the rock is just, it's going outside this time. This has some contact issues. Definitely has some contact issues. Gonna get a piece of it. Okay, so now where do you go? You are trying to force them into one. Where do you go? Try to go right even with your own. You're not trying to steal here. You're trying to force them to one. The miss here is to not be fully buried. You don't want to overbury here again. You just don't want to overbury. As long as you don't, you give them half a rock on the outside, it's fine. Don't give them half a rock on the inside. Don't give them a chance to hit and roll under the guard, under that guard. If they can roll half under your yellow rock, then they can manufacture a deuce out of that. So you want to go top forefoot, half open is fine. Make sure you get out to the brim. First skips rocks here. It is gonna over curl. Now you just want to get second shot. Really got to get second shot. Okay, they got second shot. It's not awful. I think you'll see a hit and roll underneath from the outside one. This is very much like her outturn through the port a couple ends ago. So, put that shot in your head. Instead of rolling out, you don't have to go through a tiny port anymore. You just have to make an outturn through that spot. Oh, she's taking a look at the double. That's pretty thin. I don't think you want to do that. We're going to have a conversation about this again. They're looking at the thin double. God bless them. They're also looking at just throwing the outturn draw. I don't know, ladies, you could bring 3 into play here. Hit and roll the one on the outside into where your broom is. Force them to play a little runner, especially if you don't fully bury behind it. Force them to play a little in-turn runner. Man, if they miss the back one, you draw for 3 because their shooter's not going to be on the rings. They're playing the outturn draw. I mean, they might be thinking that we could make this double for 3 later. Maybe that's the conversation. Make this outturn draw, hope for a miss, make double for 3. Sure, I'll listen to that. I'll listen to a skips deuce here too. The problem with this is that it's always easier to draw a rock than to hit and roll a rock to a spot. The problem with this is that it doesn't take away the consequences. The consequences are still there. So yeah, this is all right. They don't love it. It's not curling like it's light. It's not curling like it's light. It is second shot. Might be shot. It's shot. Good for them. It's shot. Okay, so the third said, hey, let's hit this and roll inside. And the skip was like, hey, let's just draw to the lid and get a steal here. And win this pitcher's duel with a run here. 3-1 is a lot in a pitcher's duel. But we're back to good, solid, let's not risk it. We have control of the game. Let's just make this go away. Shot. Definitely want to stay because I think they would, all things being equal, I think they were lining up and double, which I know is ridiculous, but they were. I'd maybe roll out just to see if they'll try it. Go for it, man. Last rock, just trying to make this back one go away. A little tight, maybe. Jumping. Yeah, gotta go hard, ladies. Gotta go hard for a piece still. Beautiful. That leaves the draw for one. Outturn draw for one. Last rock of the sixth then. Means we're gonna have a really interesting seventh then if she makes this. Trying to draw for one to have a 2-2 score in this final. And it looks perfect. All right, we got a 2-2 score in this final, and we will be back right after these messages.
Offers a streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Welcome back to the final of the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic. My name is Matt Hames, and we got ourselves a pitcher's duel here. We got a 2-2 game playing the seventh end. And the funny thing is that in a pitcher's duel, there are hardly any hits. But in a curling pitcher's duel, there's a lot of hits. That's all they do. They just hit. So, this end, though, you can expect both teams to really be aggressive here. So obviously, Yujie Zhang wants to force or steal, and Bobae Kang wants to blank or get a deuce. Those two things collide a lot. So we got a center guard and a come around, and we'll see what happens here with this come around. Spot has been a little tricky for them, making this curl enough. Really just want to get this. You really just want to get this kind of in the way behind the guard as much as possible. Oh, it picked something, did something. Nobody likes it. It's on the guard. We think maybe that picked. Yeah, I picked a little farther up than that, but you know, thanks, Skipper. Going clearing up some stuff, but it was a little bit before that it picked. It really doesn't help to clean after a picked rock. It really helps to clean before a picked rock. It's a pro tip for you there. In-turn come around staggered guards now has the potential to make this a really super interesting end. So let's see whether or not this in-turn guard can get on top. Goal is right on top. Mine looks pretty good. Could use curling a bit. Should finish here right about now. It should start going. Don't want to bounce, ladies. Don't want to bounce. It's okay. Gonna see a decent weight shot here because you want to roll a bit and move that out of the way if possible. I think that kind of shot might see Bobae Kang change direction here and walk up and start hitting again. Possibly. That was a chance to put a lot of pressure on. Bounced off a little bit, so it's a chance to relieve the pressure by the Zhang team. Let's see how that ends up happening. Mine looks pretty good. Weight is good. Weight is nice and quiet. They're definitely going to get inside here. Oh, they just lost it. Oh, it looked good, and it just kind of jumped on them. She's not going to rip these guards, is she? She's going to rip these guards. Yeah, you know, I don't hate that, actually. Someone once said to me that you never regret peeling a guard. You get to sleep at night when you peel a guard, and if you lose this game, you're like, why didn't we peel this guard when we had a chance? We had 2 guards and we could have just peeled them. We're going to have a conversation about this, but, you know, I don't. There's nothing wrong with this right now. They don't need to generate offense. They need to blank end here is perfect. Nothing wrong with a blank here. Everything wrong with 2 staggered guards. Because I don't think there's actually a really good spot to put your yellow rock that helps you much here. So if you can make these 2 go away, great. It's a good shot right there. I think you're going to see a freeze to the pocket here. Either freeze to the pocket or you hit him and you go to the next end. Yep. You hit him and go to the next end. Okay. Well, those are your choices. You hit him and go to the next end, or you freeze to the pocket and try to still go to the force. They have elected to hit him and go to the next end. Just try to hit this right in the pocket there. I might not. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, that's not how you drew it up. Still gonna hit this though. No need to even. I mean, there's no need to even roll into the rings here. Like, you're trying to just blank this end, so trying to be precise and roll this into the rings. They're not really trying to do that. They're just playing an out-turn peel. It's, in my opinion, easier to bonk a peel out there with that turn than anything else, but that's what they're trying to do anyway. They're just trying to peel. And we'll have a center guard, and we'll have a peel, and we'll have a center guard, and we'll have a peel, and it'll feel like 1990. Wait, we're going in the rings. No, we're not going in the rings. We're still throwing a center guard. Well, we're not going to have an awesome 7th end, but we're going to have a good 8th end. Because we're going to throw the kitchen sink at the 8th end. That's when the relievers come in and the no-hitters are gone. Good center guard. Peel. Center guard. Peel. You know, this game it had, like, the first couple of ends were threw a ton of rocks in the rings early, so it didn't give the direction of an offensive game at any point. But most of it has not necessarily just been the calls, it's been the execution. Like, again, you need execution as well as the desire to throw guards. These ladies have a desire to throw guards, but they're just not quite putting the rocks in the perfect spot, and they're just bailing early. It's certainly not nerves. It could be, you know, it's in a curling club. There's not as many people out there. The rings, the ice act's a bit different in finals than it does in earlier games when the curling club is full of people. There's lots of shouting. It's a lot warmer out there. You know, you can see Yujie Zhang wearing basically a winter coat the whole game. So you can tell it's not that warm out there. That impacts execution a little bit. You sort of get used to that a little bit. I never did because I wasn't in enough finals to get used to it. But I hear you get used to it. I'm told you get used to it if you're in a lot of finals. Where do you want to go here? Do you want to throw a center guard and risk her coming around? Do you think she's going to come around? I mean, we got a no-hitter here, ladies. Do you think she's actually going to come around? You know, she might. That's the thing. Bobae Kang has tried to put rocks in play a lot in this game until it didn't matter anymore. But I would say that she's been the more aggressive. So the conversation is right now, do we throw a center guard? If we throw a center guard, is she coming around it? That's the question. It's a lot of, this is the chess part of curling. Do I throw a center guard? If I throw a center guard, does she come around it top 4 foot? And if she does, then I got to make a run back. That's a precise shot, but force would be on then. So I'm in. Or do we just throw it into the rings and throw 2 centers next end? Get them on the center line and put some pressure on. That's the conversation. I don't know what they picked. You don't know what they picked. Let's see what they picked. I think they picked draw the top 4. It looks like it might be draw the back 8 or back 12. I think this is the right call because I think a center line guard, she might have actually gone around it. It doesn't really matter that you threw it through. Honestly, the goal here was to blank. It just means that Gong gets a free draw here. That doesn't even really matter either, though. Goal here is T-line. Just put it in play. Nice free shot. Seems to think it's heavy, but it looks okay. It might be heavy. No, it's good. All right, we make this go away. And then, honestly, if you stayed this long in this pitcher's duel, I think we're going to have an interesting 8th end. We've had a couple of interesting moments here and there, a couple of interesting ends, a couple of really nice shots, a couple of just misses on the outside, just a couple here and there. Zhang nosed hit in the first end on an end that they were trying to blank from the moment. Everybody was trying to blank it from the moment the end started. Nice nose hit. Let's see if we can get this blank. This is a big shot. You play an entire game for right now. And this is like such an important control shot. If you can blank this, you're totally in control. If you nose it, you're okay. Like the percentages actually say you're in pretty good shape. You win more than you lose. But you win way more than you lose when you're tied up with than when you're up 1 without. So this is a big shot for the win percentage of this game. It's pretty easy to kind of throw it right at the rock. But she's good. Look, even slid down to the other end. All right. We got a blank end here in the 7th end. We're coming back. We'll be back for the 8th and final end of this women's final right after these messages.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be.
Welcome back to the final end of the final, well, the 8th end of the final of the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic in Vernon, British Columbia, brought to you by Curling Stadium. My name is Matt Hames, and we got our first little opening here in this final. The rock isn't quite on the center line, so it's tickable. So we're looking at the intern tick here. See how we go on this intern tick. I mean, the great part about this too is that it's a little tight, so you can kind of tick it and roll your shooter onto the rings. That's the most ideal situation here on this tick, is to roll your shooter into the rings. It looks really close. It's very close to a goodie. That is a great shot right there. Excellent execution. Leaves the outturn draw. Takes away the in-turn draw of the button, but leaves the outturn draw of the button. So as long as you have one, you're good. They got a couple of rocks to get rid of that too. It's something that they can use. Really want to try to get this. Really want to try to get this rock on the center line so they can't tick it. You know, all of a sudden the leads have been asked to be really precise and not just throw it light, but also throw it on the exact perfect line. Something leads were never asked to do in the history of curling until now. You can see how important it is. Skipper's got a broom on the center line just to let everyone know where we all want the rock to end up. Don't want to overbend. This one looks perfect. Good judge, good throw, good job. Can't be ticked. Trying to peel that. It's not a bad idea. She has not been very defensive all game, so not really surprisingly. Just going behind. Goal here is full top 8. That's where you want it. Maybe bite the top 4. Full top 8, bite the top 4. That's the goal. You don't want to be too deep. You don't want to be T-line here, because then they freeze and all of a sudden you cut the rings down. So you want to keep the rings as big as you possibly can. You can keep the rings as big as you possibly can by going top 8 foot. Right where she's tapping her broom. Bite the top 4. Doesn't have to bury, ladies. Don't try to make this curl and make it deep. It's a little too deep. It's not bad. It's a little too deep. Think you're gonna see a freeze onto this? And with a freeze onto this, you can see how the rings get cut down, right? So the rings are now, if you want it, you don't need to, but if you wanted to get to, you have to draw to the basically button, so it's pretty tough. But she only needs one, because we got a 2-2 match here in the 8th end of the final of the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic in Vernon, British Columbia. My name continues to be Matt Hames. And they're having a conversation here about I don't really know what, because that's the shot no matter what. So something, maybe the rock, maybe something, make sure it's clean. Good thing there's no time clocks on this. All right, here we go. Freeze to the top one. You don't need to tap yet. You just need to sit on top of it. The closer, the better. Line looks great. Weight looks well managed. Got to go a little bit for line, I think. Crossing out of hair would be okay, though. It's a good looking shot. Perfect. Gonna rip the guard. Maybe rip it into the yellow one. Get rid of that too, so you give yourself an in-turn, but maybe not. They're playing this out-turn at it, so they don't seem concerned about that yellow rock that's right there. Very real danger is to just kind of nut it and have it roll over. Doesn't seem to be any concern about that. I personally would be concerned. They are not. Might go over the top. Yep. That is a very precise shot and zero concern in a spot that didn't really need to have a lot of concern. So this is the cat and mouse part of curling. We're gonna throw a guard, we're gonna peel a guard, we're gonna throw a guard, we're gonna peel a guard. At what point does anybody make a move that is different? Is the question. Often you'll hear people in curling say, it's too early. We can all agree that right now is too early. We're gonna start to really debate it's too early on thirds last. Assuming all these are made. Assuming everything is made. It's good guard, good spot. Brings the precarious jam into play again with the outturn. I think they're going over the top of it again with the outturn. This time making contact with that yellow one. Was the indication with the broom. Let's see if that happens. Still got a jam and roll for a center guard in play here. Looks like it's going over the top. Oh, it's jammed. Did not roll. It's not your ruck anymore. It's not awful. Could have been disaster. Not disaster. I mean, if it rolls for a center guard, then they're just throwing 2 center guards. It's not complete disaster yet. Thirds first. Let's see where this one goes. This is the lots of rotation. Should do a lot of finishing at the very end. It's over enough that you might consider the other. No, not considering. They're just committed to this outturn. I'd be seriously concerned about like the possibility of this coming off that outside blue and into your mess in the pocket. Once again, these ladies are really good and precise. They're not that worried about those kinds of things. That's a great peel. I mean, I personally would have thrown the intern, but if you watch on this replay, they can see that it has to be just biting the center line on contact, over the top, make the double peel. Beautiful. Okay, so we got another guard here. We have a lot of replays in this game because we just had a lot of guards and peels. So I appreciate that replay. It's a good double peel. This could overbend. This has a real good chance of overbending. Still think they're gonna rip it? There's not much else you could do. You could come down and tap and try to angle and change that angle, but you're not in bad shape right now. They have to make a play. And I guess the play that they're gonna make on skips first is their own little tap. Maybe. I mean, you didn't really want to hit that, trust me. You didn't want to take that into the hands. So we're not playing the tap, we're playing the guard. We are definitely playing the guard here. So if you take this all the way out, right? It goes guard, peel, then like a nose hit and a draw to the full 4, or if they just roll off a tiny bit, nose hit double to win. It's gonna take a really precise, perfect nose hit for Yujie Zhang on her last. It's gonna, because this is just a center guard, and then this is probably gonna be a peeled. But then you could also say to yourself, herself, is there a spot I could put the rock that makes her life really tough? Like, do you ever guard this? Is the question. And they're going to ask that question. And they're going to stand here and talk about it a lot. Where are the spots that we can go? What are the shots that she has? So you walk through them all. We put the rock right here, and we guard her run back. We put the rock just above. Nobody really likes just above, so nobody wants that guard. Nobody wants this guard. We can talk about it, but nobody really wants that, because that has peril. What they're looking at over here is angling off that outside one. If they throw the guard, can she angle off that outside one? So it looks like they've elected, with that ice, ladies and gentlemen, they've elected to throw the guard. They are throwing a guard here. They are trying to guard the run back. So if you don't throw, her shot is like this tough run back, right? So, or in off that outside blue. You probably leave the in off the outside blue forever. So they're throwing a guard and leaving the in off the outside blue. This is going to be just a little bit higher than the guard, is the idea. Right about where her broom is. Looks like they're going for everything. Just got to get it. Just got to get it to make sure you take away the run back, and that is pretty good. I think it still leaves an in-turn tap. It's not great. It's good. It's not great. I think it leaves a control weight, in-turn tap, get rid of that back one, sit buried behind two guards, force a draw to the fourth. It's about what you got. You could play this hero shot off this outside one, but I don't know that it matters, because this guard is high enough, and you can see enough of that back one. You can't see any of the back one, but the guard's high enough that you can actually make a play on it. So all you're trying to do is sit shot after this shot. If you hit a corner of it with like a board weight, roll your shooter all the way across, like to where her broom is. Get your shooter out of the way. Get that yellow rock to the back 8 foot. Leave a tough draw. That is what you're leaving. You're leaving a full out-turn draw or in-turn draw to the button for the win. But, gotta leave something. Here we go. Last rock. Last rock for Zhang. Gotta make contact here. Gotta get this rock out of the way. Line looks great. Line looks really good. It's good. Might actually stay there. That's exactly what you wanted. So boom, draw to the 4 foot. It's a great shot. Watch this. Perfect. This is exactly what they had to do. It was fully buried, but they just get by the top one. Just get by the blue one. Got by lots. Look, didn't even roll to the 8 foot. Great shot. So here we go. You start the game off drawing the button to get the hammer. You end the game off drawing the button to win the game. It's the same shot. Bad news is you didn't actually win the draw to the button to get the hammer. So this is where you can actually come back and put her in the 4 foot. All the pressure. Everybody's heart is pumping right now. Your heart is pumping. I'm told. Your heart is pumping. I've been in a couple finals. But your heart is pumping, especially the sweepers. The sweepers want to sweep this as soon as she lets it go. Trust me on this one. They want to sweep it right away. You rarely see a draw to win the game where sweepers don't sweep right away. She's fighting her adrenaline. Everybody's fighting everything. Jessica, if it gets T-line, the line is fine. If you overswept this. Oh, it's good. Great draw. Good job. You know, that's a great shot. That is a hard shot in curling. A draw to the forefoot to win the game. We can watch this in slow motion. It takes a lot of communications. You can see the third there saying, hey, take a look, take a look. And they looked, and then they thought, oh, wait, no, we got to sweep this right at the end. And they swept it right at the end. Beautiful, beautiful shot. That's what you want to do to win these curling games. This was a pitcher's duel, but at the end, it came down to a lot of rocks in the rings and a draw of the forefoot. It was a really, really well-played game, well executed, and your winners are the Kang team at the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic. My name is Matt Hames, and thank you for joining us. What a game that was. Isn't curling awesome? Thank you, Curling Stadium, for putting this on. You can watch so many curling games. Just go to curlingzone.com and click on the little play button, and you'll get to see curling games from all over the world, all over the country. It is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Remember, when I'm putting in sweat and best, clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.